Welcome into Titans Today. I am Tom Downey. On today's show, we're taking a look at some draft conversation around the number one overall pick, the Daniel Jeremiah mock draft. And interesting kind of trade rumor out there involving Bones Fossil and Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey, and coaching updates on the Tennessee Titans. Before we get into all of that, who do you want the Titans to draft with the number one overall pick? Let me know in the comments section of today's show who you want the Titans to take with that top selection. Now, the East-West Shrine Bowl practices underway, the game coming up on Thursday. All the Titans' top decision-makers on offense, Mike Borgonzi, Chad Brinker, head coach Brian Callahan, Nick Holtz, and more are in attendance. The assistant for Tennessee, Peyton McCullum, will serve as the quarterback's coach for Shedeur Sanders' team. Now, Sanders not going to practice, not going to play at the East-West Shrine Bowl. He is going to do interview stuff. He spent 30 minutes with Tennessee earlier this week. Tennessee obviously sent the whole contingent down to Frisco/North Texas, where they're having the game or the practice itself. He will be at AT&T Stadium because the Cowboys are incompetent and scheduled a tennis tournament during the East-West Shrine Bowl too. But Shedeur is an obvious target for the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee organization has the number one overall pick. They are trying to judge and figure out what is going on with Shedeur Sanders. They're doing their due diligence, their research, their eval, all of that on Shedeur Sanders. Brian Callahan spoke about Shedeur. By the way, now Callahan from the Bengals organization is used to doing a lot of scouting for the players because the coaches are actively involved in that more so than he will be in Tennessee and other organizations. Says the thing that stands out to him the most is his toughness. He took some pretty big shots and kept rolling. He can stand the pocket and deliver it. He can move and create a bit. He has somebody to move out of the pocket, and he does create on his own. He's not a high-end dynamic scrambler necessarily, but he is productive when he does it. And he has really good feel for anticipation and timing. You can tell he's been coached up in that regard. Those things show up on tape. Tennessee has that number one overall pick. Would you use it on Shedeur Sanders? We'll talk about the other options here in just a second. But sound off in the comments of today's show. Y for yes or N for no. Let's go to Cam Ward here as well. Now, Ward is going to be at the Senior Bowl, so the nice part about this whole process is you get a lot of focus on Shedeur Sanders, then you get a lot of focus on Cam Ward when the Senior Bowl gets going later, but after the Shrine Bowl goes there. Obviously, the top two quarterbacks in this year's class. Sorry, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe. I'm not actually all that sorry there. Again, I've called Ward the gunslinger, the creator. Shedeur is the accuracy, the executor of the offenses. Although he was also asked about Shedeur, Callahan also spoke about Cam Ward. Now, how much we can read into these quotes, I don't know. He does some really good, cool stuff. He has a really loose throwing motion. I mean that in the best way. He can spin the ball well. He has all the different arm ankles. He has the ability to move and create. He's put some really impressive throws on tape. Again, he's the executor, or he's the creator, and Shedeur is more of the executor of the offense. Now, beyond the East-West Shrine game and the Senior Bowl for Cam Ward, there are more conversations that will happen for the Tennessee Titans and the top two quarterbacks. NFL Combine, they will be heavily involved there. They will get their time with Shedeur, with Cam Ward. Pro days will happen, and you can pretty much guarantee those top 30 visits and interviews, those guys will be heavily involved as well there. The Tennessee Titans' job right now is to spend a massive amount of time figuring out not just the player, but the person. Do they have the ability to be the team's franchise QB? If they do, strong candidates to be the number one overall pick. If the organization does not feel that way, well, maybe they go in a different direction altogether, which is what, by the way, Daniel Jeremiah did in his most recent NFL mock draft. We will break that down here in just a second for you guys, but today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time's got a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. Makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats. So you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. Always keep an eye out for the super deal. It is the best value for a given event. And there's lower tiers, amazing, great deal, etc. It is simply curation designed to save you even more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, everything else in between. Download the Game Time app over at gametime.co. Create your account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply with the link gametime.co. The promo code ChatSports will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Let's go then to the Daniel Jeremiah mock draft. He went with Abdul Carter as the number 1 pick out of Penn State, the edge rusher. Very intrigued by this selection here for Jeremiah. A lot was made of the comments from Brinker saying, not pass on a generational talent, which is why DJ made this pick. Says, my ears perked up when Tennessee President of Football Operations Chad Brinker said the team wouldn't pass on a generational talent with the first overall pick. To me, Carter is the best player in the draft, and he plays a premium position. I could see the Tennessee going to add competition for quarterback Will Levis in the free agent market or later on in the draft. For the record, I don't like the idea of just adding competition for Will Levis. It's a bad idea. It's a terrible idea. I think it is telling, though, that you've seen a lot of different answers for, generational player, what does that mean? It kind of comes down to people interpret that quote how they want to interpret that quote. DJ thought it meant Abdul Carter. I thought it meant Travis Hunter potentially. I've seen other people say it's Shedeur Sanders, it's Cam Ward. I don't think it's at all the quarterbacks, by the way. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I was very impressed by the way Abdul Carter played. He was impactful. He was disruptive. He has not played that much edge rusher. He had an 18% pressure rate this year. This is an off-ball linebacker turned edge who has only begun to scratch the potential of his ceiling. I think this is a double-digit sack upside player in the NFL. He fills a premium piece, and I think there is also a scenario, by the way, where if you want to go with Abdul Carter, you should trade down. You should move down several spots. You can still get him, I think, maybe number 3, potentially. Now, if you convince he's a generational player, then you take him. I like Abdul Carter a lot. He's an easy first-round grade, top 5 player. He'll be probably 2 on my board overall. But I don't know if that's a generational player, you take it number 1. But maybe no one wants to trade up. And in the end, a lot of options here. What should the Titans do? SS for the guys, let's talk about the 3 guys we talked about today. SS for Shedeur Sanders, CW for Cam Ward, AC for Abdul Carter, O for other. Could be Travis Hunter, could be a trade down. Let me know in the comments of today's video. Got a bold trade here. Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey said that Bones Fossil said that Bones was going to try to trade for him now that he is a member of the Tennessee Titans. Aubrey said this before signing his contract about Bones Fossil. He calls and just says all his guys like, hey, it's not you, it's whatever, and describes his decision-making process. He told me he's going to try and trade for me. I don't know if that's based out of any sort of reality or whatnot, but he's a great dude, and we're going to miss him. Now, despite, Nick Folk being inconsistent, but solid, and Bones finding Brandon Aubrey when no one else had even explored adding him, and Aubrey being one of the best kickers in the NFL with a cannon for a leg and statistically as a Pro Bowl, all-pro player, I interpret this as this is just a coach saying he loves somebody. The Cowboys are not going to trade for a day 3 pick to give away Brandon Aubrey. He's their best kicker they've had in a long time. That's not going to happen. Tennessee should not be moving assets for a kicker when they have very large and obvious holes to fill everywhere else. So, you can try to call. I think that gets shut down pretty quickly. I think that's just Bones talking to his old players like, hey, I love you. I'll bring you over if I can, but, maybe don't get your hopes up necessarily for that one. One more note before we go. The Bears have interviewed Titans quarterback coach Bo Hardigree for their offensive coordinator role. Now, he was on staff with Ben Johnson with the Dolphins. He was briefly the Raiders play caller in 2023. Hardigree does have, I think, pretty well-regarded views outside of the NFL or around the NFL, despite not great results from the Tennessee quarterback play this past season. The Lions have one leverage point to use on the OC of we can steal someone away for a better job. I doubt Tennessee would just let him leave, but that one is certainly one to monitor. You have to find a new quarterbacks coach if he leaves. Now, we are 46 subs away from 10K here on Titans Today. Hit that sub button right now so you don't miss out.